Hello, 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 my beloved souls. Blessed be, blessed day. Welcome back. I'm Autumn, the Enlightened Daughter. For those of you who don't know me, for those of you who do, welcome back. I love you, High Vibe Tribe. I'm so glad that you're here. So I don't know what's going on, I will say, on the logical sense as far as astrology and stuff like that is going on. All I know is that, like, I was sitting here listening to a battle rap, smoking some weed, just being one with the universe because I'm in the middle of this, like, transition. And they're like, you need to speak on the transition, you need to speak on the bridge. So, grab my computer, grab some cards, and I'm like, here we are. So, what I feel, and this isn't for everyone, obviously, this is going to be for like a certain niche of you, although many of you will probably be revisiting this message in the future when you find yourself on the bridge. And as light workers, as way showers, as these awakened beings, right? We are so often, and not just those of us that are consciously doing the light work, because everyone's going through this. I'll say that. Let me just put that caveat in there, right? I'll say that everybody goes through different cycles, and we're always ending one cycle and beginning another, right? And when you're choosing to opt into one form of a lifestyle or a choice or whatever it is that you're growing through at the moment, whatever you're choosing to pick up, you're choosing to put something else down, right? It's like me having two things in my hand. Now I want a third thing, right? So which one of these options am I going to let go of so that I can pick up the third thing if that is what I want, more so than the two things that I have, right? Maybe the third option isn't something that's worth me putting these two down. Or maybe it is, right? Maybe I need to put down both in order to get this next thing because it's so huge, it's so grand that I'm going to need both hands and I'm going to need to let go of a couple of things in order for me to move forward. And so the that's where we're at. There's been a lot of endings going on and big endings, right? We've had a lot of that energy coming through with these massive full moons, super new moons as we were coming into the year. These portals opening up. We just had the 6-6 portal. We have like the 3-6-9 portal. We're gearing up towards the 8-8 portal in August, which is huge for everyone, right? That's the Lionsgate energy. And we're ending all these cycles big time. And we're ending these soul contracts. And we're jumping timelines, and there's a lot happening, right? And for a small niche of us, I will say that, 'cause again, it's not going to be for everyone during the specific time that I'm recording this reading, but there's a small niche of us that are on the bridges right now. And there will be times during your spiritual path and awakening and ascension that you will be on the bridge by yourself. And there will be times when you're on these bridges with your spirit team, with your guides. Um, Before I transitioned from Rhode Island to New York, there was a dark period. I got no information from my spirit guides. I couldn't hear them, I couldn't feel them, I couldn't sense them, nothing. I had dug my ditches, I had put my faith out there. I was encapsulated in this energy of hope and fear, right? But because I wasn't like hearing my spirit guides, because I wasn't so in tune with my own higher self and trusting my own opinions and inner guidance and intuition, I faltered. You know what I mean? And it threw me off my path for a while, for over a year. I got thrown off path. Because I faltered, because I was told before I got onto the bridge, like, listen, it's going to be a dark period. Listen, you're good. Listen, hold the line. Listen, we got you. And in the midst of all of that, my logical, egoic mind, like, took over with fear. It was like, what are you talking about? Like, you're here by yourself. What are you talking about, right? Like, there's no one else here. Like, I don't know what they told you before, but that's not the case. And it threw me off. And so I'm saying all that to say this. Like, there are going to be times where you are doing the work, you're doing the training, you're doing the meditation, you're doing the prayers, you're doing the inner work, you're doing the outer work, you're trying to balance out your life, you're trying to go deep within yourself, you're trying to have that delicious inner understanding and that overstanding of life in and of itself. And your guides will be with them. will be with you, and sometimes they'll be very vocal in your life. But sometimes it's not even so much that they're more vocal. There will be times where you're more in tune with them. I'll say that because our guides are always here. It's not like they're ever like, hey, we're not going to give you advice. There are times where we think that we know better, right? I just had this whole conversation with a friend of mine about like them trying to outthink God. It's like, creator of all there is. And we're over here like, no, I got this problem because, you can't figure this out for me. I got it. At the end of the day, it's like we sound foolish, right? We sound crazy. How can you outthink God, the creator of everything? Like at the end of the day, I'm giving everything to God. I'm like, here, can you take care? I have a bump on my back. Can you help me with that? Because I can't reach back there. And then I'm moving on with my life because God wants to be there in all the things. Big things or small, it doesn't even matter. It's we who get in the way of our own blessings, and we block ourselves and our challenges, and we just do the most because we're humans, and humans do the fucking most, right? We do the utmost. So anyway, there will be times where you're on these bridges, right, between the end of one cycle and beginning the next, right? When we go from like that kind of like 9 energy to that 1 energy, but between the 9 and the 1, right, is that like that 10, that 0, right? um and that gives us like a reset point, right? It's like getting the go directly to go card in like Monopoly, right? Like go collect $200. Do not pay any bills. You're good. You're getting your money up. So there will be times where you hear you guys, and there will be times where you don't. And there, before you get to a point in your ascension, in your growth, in your elevation, where it's going to go quiet on you, you're going to have a lot of time. You're going to get a lot of advice. You're going to have a lot of support. You're going to be growing through a lot of different life lessons that are going to be training you and honing you as to how to utilize your intuition and to really tap into that, right? And to tap into your natural spiritual abilities, your natural spiritual gifts, your talents, your skills, and to see, and then you're going to get to this point where it's like, all right, you're on your own. You know what I mean? Like, you have to walk this path. This is a free will planet. We all have to make these choices on our own. You have to decide from here where we can give you guidance, right? Our spirit guides can always give us guidance, but they never tell us what to do. We always have the free will to do yay or nay, right? They can guide us. They can be like, well, according to like the big life plan that you have and the spiritual path that you're on, this is what we think is going to be best for you in this moment because they see the big picture of things. But we get to decide in that moment whether or not we're going to take that advice or we're going to go do our own thing. And at the end of the day, there's no wrong answer in spiritual truth, right? As long as you're not harming anybody else, take whatever path you want to, right? You can go the direct route, right? Straight down the street, make a left, make a right at the McDonald's, or you could take the back roads, or you can go make a couple of stops first and then end up at your McDonald's, right? But at the end of the day, like the destination doesn't change, right? It's like putting our freaking home address in the GPS, but then on our way there, we decide, oh, we're gonna stop, we're gonna go to the liquor store. All right, no, then I'm gonna go to the grocery store because I want to have something else for dinner. Oh, wait, my homeboy just called me. Let me go scoop him up right real quick on my way to the crib, right? Like you do a million things at the end of the day, and the GPS just keeps recalibrating. So the universe does. It's always recalibrating, but at the end of the day, all roads lead home, right? So it's up to us how long that's gonna take at the end of the day. And sometimes we are on this life path, this earth in this meat suit for however long we decided to incarnate this time around, and we don't make it to our goal, right? And then we got to start the game all over again. And there's no shame in that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just having awareness. And so, many, not many, those of you that are here with me on this bridge, you know, you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to overthink it. You don't need to be in the energy of fear and doubt and worry and condemnation and overwhelm and trying to go through your head and trying to solve all of these issues, right? This is the space, and I thank you, God, for calling this through me at this time. This is the space where we have planted our seeds, right? We've done all the work. We've gone to the markets, we've purchased the seeds, we've fertilized the soil, we've gotten the hoe out, we've pulled up all the rocks, we've made sure that we're in a good spot, we make sure that the sun is shining, we're, we're using all the right tools. We've done everything our earthly hands can do for what it is that we have called God for into our life at this moment, for what it is that we're asking God to bless us with his grace for within that moment. We've done everything our earthly hands can do. And then this is the pause. This is the stillness. This is the time of allowing the seed to grow and to germinate and to become that in which it was designed to be. But we have to get to the point where we have to put our hands off. And so during this time, right, that time where you're waiting for your seed to grow, that time where you're waiting on the bridge to get to the next step, what else can you be doing with your time, right? How else best is your time going to be utilized right now? Is it best utilized worrying and fearful and trying to think of how all the situation is going to resolve itself? Or are you going to really have the faith knowing that you put whatever it is that you want out into the universe, knowing that whatever it is that you ask for, you shall receive under grace? And now you can move on to the next thing, right? You ask God for a new home, right? You may not have the money for the home yet. You may not necessarily be ready or whatever, but you've prayed and you believe for a new home. You know what? I know that this is a blessing, that this is a blessing for me to receive at this time, and it's in my heart, and I know that God will give me the desires of my heart. Fantastic. If this is what I believe and I'm asking my Heavenly Father for it, and I know that if I ask and believe I shall receive, then what do I need to do to walk in faith? Cool. Let me call a realtor. Cool. Let me figure out what areas I'm going to look at. Cool. Let me figure out a budget. Cool. What are some of the amenities that I want? Cool. Let me start looking for it. Cool. Let me find a freaking loan officer at the bank or whatever if I need to take out like a mortgage or whatever. Right. And I'm going to start doing my due diligence, and I'm going to start walking in faith because I know that I put it out there to the universe. And I know that because it's serving my highest and greatest good, and I put it out there to the universe, and I ask, and I'm believing that I shall receive it, then it shall be done. Right. And so it's just a matter of like which one. There has been more than one occasion where I've needed a home, right? That's why I'm using that example, because I'm in another transitional phase right now where I've needed a home. And I'll tell you this one story real quick. So my kids were little. My daughter had to be like 1. My son would have just turned 2, right? And my went to a wedding, my homegirl's wedding. I haven't seen my peoples in Florida in a minute. See everybody, run into one of my older homegirls. She's recently, with the man who owns a business and could hire my baby father, right? And so she's like, look, there's a lot of houses down here for you and the kids. You should think about moving down here. If you do, my husband could give your husband a job so you don't have to worry about that, blah, blah, blah. So it was a dope, scenario to put out there, especially because we were living with my mother and my at the time. So it was great. It was going to give us an opportunity to get our own space, right, as a family. It was 4 of us, blah, 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 blah. So put out all these applications. I'm trying to figure things out. Now, I'm not working at the time, right? Because I'm home now with the kids. But my baby father doesn't have any credit. Not that he has bad credit. He has no credit because he was on the streets most of his life. So he just didn't do anything wrong or good. He just didn't acquire that type of thing, right? But we had been working. We both had savings. I had better credit than he did, obviously, with his no credit. So it was like, all right, how can we work in tandem to get these things done, right? I got my homegirl down in Florida looking at homes for me to rent, like praying to God, like, I don't know how this is going to work out, right? So we finally, God will always do, moving obstacles out of the way, found a really compassionate landlord and like a nice realtor, and put all the information out. Like I put everything out there, put the application out, sent the freaking money order in the mail, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get that home. Like, I'm not going to keep stalling and trying to figure out when I'm leaving. Threw myself a going away party, and I was like, that's going to be my home. That's where I'm going. It's either going to be that or something better, right? Because I put everything out there. Packed my house, packed my kids, right? Nobody knew about, like, the paperwork side, what was going on behind the scenes, or, like, the fact that there was delays, or that the realtor wasn't at the office that I sent it to, right? He uses another office during the week, so then he had to go to a couple of cities over, literally a couple of cities over, in order to get the mail that I had sent him, right? We're literally driving down to Florida, kids packed up, truck packed. I had given the movers the address of the fucking house, even though it wasn't approved yet, because that's how much I was like, that is what it is. And so God will make a way. Literally, me and my baby father, my 2 babies, my 1 and my 2-year-old, in a freaking car, driving down the middle of fucking Florida from New York. without me having secured the home yet. But me just having faith that it was going to work itself out somehow between the time I left New York and the time I got to Florida. And even by the time I got to Florida, he still hadn't received it yet because it had went to the wrong address. So we had to stay at a hotel for like a night or two until we figured it out. So I'm telling you all of that to tell you this, right? Like, there may be delays, there may be challenges, things may get lost in the mail, right? There might be some type of obstacle or, you know, hindrance in front of you. But it doesn't mean that you should lose hope at this time. It doesn't mean that you should give up. It doesn't mean that you should quit. It doesn't mean that the thing that you put out into the universe is not going to be for you, right? It doesn't mean any of that. Sometimes there's just stuff going on behind the scenes that needs to get to work itself out in your favor. And so it's up for you during these times to really hold the line and to have faith. And that's when the energy of faith comes through, right? That's when it gets to be strongest because there's nothing now. You're like, what else can I do, right? And we really have to get into this energy of surrendering to the Most High and not surrendering like in hopelessness, but surrendering in faith and knowing like, yo, I did everything my earthly hands can do. And I know you see me out here, God. You see me out here in these streets working, doing all the things. So thank you for helping me on the back end with the things that I cannot do. Thank you for making a way. Thank you for the right connections. Thank you for putting the right people in front of me. Thank you for showing me to the right locations. Thank you for taking me on, inspiring me to go on a walk and to make that left instead of making that right. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many times where, like, I'll be out and about. Oh, for instance, I'm looking for an apartment, right? I found an apartment, actually. It's going to be beautiful. It's actually on 111th Street, which I fell in love with those numbers, right? Because 111, which has been following me around for months. I love it. I love it. I love it. But anyway, so I was walking to go look at the place, or so I thought, right? And I'm walking, taking this beautiful walk. Kids are chilling in the house, playing games, right? Living their best life. I'm like, let me take this walk. I love to walk, right? It's great exercise. I love to connect with Gaia. And on my walk, and I've been here for a couple of months, and on my walk, I passed this like recreational park, which I had no idea was there. Right? See, like a playground area. I had no idea. I had no idea this like little hidden gem was like not too far from where I was at. So I was like, oh, that's dope, And so I walked to where I thought I needed to be. There's a no outlet. I had to double back, go home. It's a whole long story. But at the end of the day, I was grateful that I took that walk because I saw something that I hadn't seen before. Right? Like, whenever I'm in a new location, I love to walk around and just like check things out, right? Like, I want to know where I'm at. I want to feel the energy of the space that I'm in. For many of you, um, you're being moved around because your light is needed to be gridded in other areas, right? And so there's big work that needs to be done on this planet right now, right? As a collective, like, we're doing a lot, right? At very different layers of our being. And as more light comes onto the planet, guess what? We get to see where the darkness really was shining, like where the darkness really had its hold. We get to see where we had given away our power and dimmed our luminosity and forgot that we were sovereign beings and we were just kind of like living this like robotic, zombie-ish life. And now we have the opportunity to ascend and grow while we're still in the same physical form, to awaken and to bless and to heal and to evolve and to expand this dope ass planet and this universe. And it starts with us doing that work within ourselves, right? If we want to change our outer world, we have to change our inner worlds. And so we have this opportunity as we're ending one cycle, ending one contract, ending one, you know, part of this game to move forward and to move up, right? And so this is the time where I need you guys to just hold on. And I know that it can be really scary. I know it can be scary. Listen, I got two kids, and I've been in a situation on more than one occasion where I was like, I don't know where we're gonna sleep tomorrow. I don't know where I'm gonna lay my roots. I don't know where home is gonna be, and it's fucking frightening, and it's scary, and it's overwhelming to be in that position, to be like alone, to have two people counting on you for every single thing for their entire existence, and to try not to falter and to shift and to lose it in front of them while trying to hold your vibration high, while trying to be optimistic, while trying to still help others all throughout the same thing. You know what I mean? And so at the end of the day, like, I keep showing up. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, you know what? I'm doing the right thing. It may not look like it much on the outside, right? And I may not be seeing the results yet, but I know that if I keep moving forward, I am. It's like a person who's 50 pounds overweight and is going to the gym. Yeah, you went to the gym on Monday. Yeah, you went to the gym on Wednesday. Yeah, you went to the gym on Friday. But you kept doing it week after week after week after week. It wasn't like once a month you're going to the gym and then you're all of a sudden 6 months later you're fucking pissed off because you haven't seen any results. No, you kept up even when you didn't see anything, even when you didn't feel like it, even when the weather was crappy, even when you were exhausted. And so now you're seeing those results, right? Now your outer body is looking good. And now other people are even being like, hey, have you been working out? You know what I'm saying? So it's the same with the inner work that we're doing, right? And so it may feel thankless. And at times it really does feel thankless. Like it does. Like I get frustrated at times because I'm just like, yo, what am I doing wrong? You know, am I doing something wrong? Did I not get the rules right? Like as Neil Donald Walsh said in his book, it's like, yo, like what are the rules? Like if I don't know them, tell me. I'll start over. You know what I mean? But it's not that you're not following the rules. It's not that you're not doing the work. It's not that you did something wrong. You're on path and you're extremely strong and you're super important and you're needed. And so these things that you're growing through right now are just character builders, right? For your next step, whatever that might be for you, right? We're all on different paths. So we all have different things that we're working towards and that we're healing, right? For some of you it's gonna be, your relationship with your body. For some of you, it's going to be your relationship with your community. For some of you, it's going to be your relationship with your gender. For some of you, it's going to be your relationship with sexuality. For some of you, it's going to be your relationship with money. For some of you, it's going to be your relationship with health. For some of you, it's going to be, like, it's just, we all have so much different shit that we're working on, right? And where we're at on this path. So you're on the bridge and you may not be feeling your team of light as much. You may be doubting yourself. You may be questioning yourself. But I'm going to tell you this. When the Holy Spirit comes through with an answer, the answer does not change just because our energy shifts, right? A yes is a yes and a no is a no. The universe is very matter of fact in those things, right? And they're very benevolent in their dealings with us. Everything is fair, right? All is fair in love and war, literally. So you really just need to trust in the guidance that you're receiving, okay? I don't know how you connect with your team of light. I don't know how you connect with your higher self and your inner intuition. When I connect with my team of light, when I connect with my higher self, I can physically feel them, the sensation running through my body. And so I know that, like, when I stop and I pause in the moment and I ask my higher self, yo, what's up with this thing? Is this a good look or not? I'm going to feel in my body if it's a good look or not, right? Whatever that might mean for you. Some of you may be doing divination, right? I don't know. Some of you may decide you want to start reading cards, dice, however you choose to deal with your intuition, but find a practice. I'm big on scripting, big on automatic writing. You guys know that. Just let it flow out, and I'm talking about pen and paper, pencil if you have to, but pen to paper. I know some people prefer typing, but again, I highly, 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 highly recommend pen and paper. There's magic in us using spelling and writing things down. Scripting out your day, writing from the viewpoint of the end of the day and putting that magic out into the universe. I love to do some scripting before I go to bed and just putting things out there for like the next day or for the rest of the week or the month or whatever, and then just sleeping on it and letting the universe do what it does behind the scenes to make it all happen, right? We think things take a lot of time, but all time is now. There actually is no like such thing as time, right? So everything is like right in this moment. So it's like I'm putting it out there and they're putting it out there all at the same time. So they're making it happen as quickly as I'm putting it out there. It's like before I can even finish the thought, it's already like manifesting itself. It's pretty dope the way that works. Anyway, so we're on the bridge and we're holding the line. And this is a time of faith and not giving up and not being deterred by the quote unquote obstacles and challenges of this life. So, what was in my cup, but that's gross. Anyway, I'm gonna pull a few cards. It's hot. And see what's going on. Again, I don't know why I was told to do this reading. I was just kind of like inspired, so I saw, wow, guys, look at this shit. What's up with that? Like, I'll take that energy all day. 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. You angels, thank you guys for being here with me in the collective at this time. What do we need to know? What do we need to see? What's going on? Why are these messages coming through for the collective at this time? What do they need to know while they're on the bridge? While they're moving from cycle to cycle? You guys know I only stop when I feel guided to stop. I feel I gotta keep going, I keep going. Alright, wow, again, Ten of Raphael, or the Ten of Cups. So this is the ultimate love card, right? Love of self, family, health. Like, this is just the ultimate happiness card. Love and blessings fill your life. Gotta be grateful for that, right? Harmonious relationships with family members, happily ever after, right? And we have this beautiful rainbow, the blessing of God. So beautiful blessings coming in for you guys. Amazing. Ooh, epiphany. It's one of my favorite words, actually. It's like how it sounds, right? It's like, oh, the light bulb goes off, right? This is the Hermit card in traditional tarot. So joy through spiritual growth, be a light to others, answers that come through meditation. This is not surprising while we're on the bridge, right? The quiet. This is coming within ourselves, right? Going within to get those answers and then trusting those answers and moving forward with it. And guess what? As you shine your light, you give other people permission to do so as well, right? I feel like that's why the Most High had me coming on here today. It was like, listen, you know, I'm over here teaching and growing and evolving, but I'm not the exception to the rule. Like, I'm growing through shit at the same time. I'm in a transition at the same time. I'm ending a cycle at the same time, right? And I'm having to heal through it. I'm having to, like, have faith through it. And I'm having to not be scared through it, right? And I'm having to, like, walk the path mainly alone. You know, my spirit guides are here, of course, you know, but it's like at the end of the day, free will planet, I have to make those choices and those decisions, right? And as I show up for myself and stand in my authenticity and give myself permission to heal, grow, evolve, expand, and to be the best version of myself, I also do so for my tribe, right? And for my family, for my babies, for my biggest supporters, but also the four eyes that watch me the most. You know what I'm saying? Five of Gabriel, love this. A challenge you can resolve. I promise you're going to get through this. I promise you. Withdraw from the drama of others. Have patience with yourself and those around you. We're on a bridge, guys. And it's okay, but patience is a big part of being on that bridge, right? Being patient with yourself, being patient with the process, trusting and having faith that it will happen, right? There's a farmer in the garden. You put the seeds there. You don't go back into the garden tomorrow with a hoe and start digging things up and trying to see what's working. No, you stay back. Trust the Most High is taking care of that area, and you're going to go work on something else, right? Maybe yesterday you guys were planting corn. Maybe today it's cotton. I don't know. I don't even know how fields work. You know, maybe it's rice. Whatever works together in your thing, right? Or maybe today's the day you got to, like, fix up your barn or go to town and take in other stuff that you had already harvested, you know what I mean, to sell. Like, whatever the thing may be, it's time for a little bit of patience. You need to take your energy off of the thing, right? You planted the seed, shift. You put it out there, thank the Most High, good looking, homie, thanks for hooking me up, and now we move on to the next thing, right? Seven of Raphael, time to make a decision. Be clear on what you want and take action. A need for detoxification. So this is the Seven of Cups, right, in traditional tarot. And this is the shit or get off the pot card, right? This is you in or you out of the game, right? Make a choice as to what it is that you want in your life, and then go forward with it. A lot of you are on this bridge just because you haven't figured out which path you want to take. The bridge is open, the doors are open, everything's open, right? Clear paths, all directions. You have to decide when you get there, what do I want to do? Said to you before, there's no wrong answer in spiritual truth, and all roads lead home. Which road do you want to go down? The fiery one, the windy one, the earthly one? You know what I mean? Like, you have options. The watery one, what are we doing? We're flying over it and activating our Merkaba. Like, what are you doing? What are we doing? We're going into the shadows and the depths with like our shamanic brothers and sisters, right? Into the underworld. That, listen, all roads are still going to lead home. It's up to you as to how you want this path to play out for you. Grace, ease, flow. Suffering is a human concept, and we feel like that we have to do it, which is odd, but it's not actually like something that's required by us, by the Most High. Like, we actually don't have to suffer. So if you were opting into that because you thought that that was something you needed to do, you can opt out of that right now. Just hit the little opt out button. Unsubscribe. It'll be fine. Then we have the Empress coming in. I love this energy. Time to act upon your plans. Make a decision and then get moving. Okay? Like, make your choice and then put some action behind it. All right? Creativity is rewarded, luxurious or abundant resources. So this is, I'm sorry if I'm like moving, doing a lot with my body. I'm like sweaty and then I feel stuff like flying behind me. I'm in a different space, if you can't tell. Um, this is a reminder for those of you that might be struggling financially that your resources for the things that you're putting out there are coming to fruition. Okay? Like, maybe you've decided to take a chance on yourself and to start your own business, or to make your spiritual practice a full-time thing, or quit your job. You know, it's like to follow like your art, your heart, your creative endeavor, whatever that may be, right? Because creativity is very different for everybody. For some people, it's being like an economics professor because they love to do like freaking math and stuff like that. And for other people, it's going to be like painting or cooking or whatever it may be, right? So and this is just a reminder that once you make your choice, like, the universe is going to show up for you with the resources, with the things that you need in order to have that come through. But you need to have patience with the manifestation of it and be okay during that time as to not lose faith, right? Because what do we have right at the bottom of the deck? We have the Five of Ariel. This is a worry energy, right? This is, you need to go through your current challenges alone. Help is nearby. Negative thoughts creating self-fulfilling prophecies. This is negative Nelly in her head. Now that becomes her reality because that was her inner world, right? And so this is them telling you, like, don't allow that negative energy to become your primary energy. Sorry, I don't got okay, it feels like a mosquito bite. Sorry, guys. And I'm like, um, don't allow that negative energy to become your primary energy. Okay, like, so, yeah, the thought is there. Yeah, the doubt is there. Yeah, the worry is there. Like, I get that, right? Because it's like you're on the bridge and you're like, are the resources going to come? Am I here alone? Where does this bridge even lead? If I go down this road, am I going to get caught up? Like, there's all these things like racing through your head. And then this is where you got to tap into that intuition and be like, all right, what is going to serve my highest and greatest good at this time? Which path is the best pathway for us, right? And like, put it out to the universe. You know, I had a choice. I was in New York. I had a choice of like making three moves: either stay in New York, move to Florida, or move to Tennessee at the time, right? And I was like, at the time, very depressed, very dejected, overwhelmed, in an emotionally abusive relationship, like just going through a lot, while trying to still, you know, show up spiritually and physically for other people, and you know, still be me. And I got very clear messages. You know, it was just like, yo, if you go here, it's gonna be a motherfucking struggle. If you stay here, it's the same shit you're dealing with, but there will be absolutely no movement. Like, it's like stagnant, still water, right? But if you go here, there's an opportunity for you to thrive and to heal and to be nurtured. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know what I mean? And I asked the universe for their help, their guidance, like, out of the three at this point of my life, which would be the best for me and my family right now, you know? At the end of the day, they could tell me whatever they want to tell me. I had to make the choice, and I made the choice. You know what I mean? But I trusted in the guidance that I received because I know God's not going to steer me wrong. I know that sometimes even what I want isn't always what's best for me. And since I know that we cannot always perceive our own best interest, I'm going to trust in a faith higher than myself. I'm going to trust in something greater than myself. I'm going to trust in the divine who can see the big picture and who knows the big picture of my life and who knows what my spiritual contract is and what I'm supposed to be doing in this lifetime, right? And that's not always an easy decision to make. I cry myself to sleep a lot. I get scared. I get frightened. I get overwhelmed. I fucking doubt, right? Like, I'm not sitting here trying to like being a pulpit of like righteousness. Like I'm right there in the fucking dirt with you guys, like tired and scared and worried and fearful, right? But at the end of the day, I have to move forward. It's like right now, like as I'm growing through this thing and we're in the shift between homes and it's like frustrating me and I'm trying not to be frustrated. And I'm like, you know what? I know the formula. I know how this plays out, and at the end of the day, I know how this ends. So if I know how it ends, I'm not going to keep sitting here and worrying, and I know that I'm on the bridge, right? And so patience is needed right now. So do I use this time to worry myself into a fucking early grave, or do I use this time to focus on something else, knowing that God is already handling that, so let me go handle the other stuff, like making dinner, sweeping the floor, making sure my kids are safe. You know what I mean? I'm doing what I can because I know God will do what I can. And I know that everything is going to work itself out because that is the only way it can play out. Like, we're children of the divine. The only way it's going to play out is for our highest and greatest good. So how can it not play out if I know that what I'm asking for is for the highest and greatest good? There's no way that it's not going to play out. It's just a matter of I had one time schedule, he has another. Fantastic. At the end of the day, it's going to get done. Right? Angels and guys, thank you for being here with me in the collective at this time. What do I need to know? What do I need to see at this time? As we're on the bridge. That's so funny. I just saw this in the pre-shop on. She came right back out, giving birth. I'm bringing forth new and dynamic energy into the world. This is, look, you're on the bridge. Look, where is she? She's in a fucking womb, guys. She's in a womb. Gestation period. What happens if we try to take the baby out of the womb too soon, before the 9 months, right? There's a possibility that it will not live. So you have to be patient during this time. Because what you're giving birth to is something new and dynamic that you get to bring into the world. Like something dynamic. Why would you want to rush that? Knowing how great it's going to be, let it sit, let it rest. And I know how it feels, the impatience. Listen, I'm a mother of two, right? We get to that last trimester and bitch tired. Tired of getting kicked, elbowed, not feeling like myself, getting bigger and bigger, exhausted, aggravated, answering questions, all the things, right? Being all the things. Tired, bitch tired. Bitch tired. I get it. But you have to be patient during this time. I love that that was the first card that came out. Proceeding softly, my inner power grows in moments of solitude. We're on the bridge, hermit energy. Proceeding slowly. You gotta chill, dude. You gotta chill. It is, the manifestation is here. Your blessing has arrived. Grace is covering you at this time. But you have to let it open up and flower when it's ready. You cannot force these things to happen. We're on the bridge. Look at this. Wow. Come on, guys. And you see me shuffling on camera. You see me, so you know, you literally just can't make this stuff up. Planting seeds. Seeds of grace are being planted in the fertile soil of my soul. Seeds of grace. You've done everything your earthly hands can do. Now trust God to do what you can't. We don't know what's going on underground in the soil. It's not our job to do that. Our job is to put the seeds in the ground. Cover it up, give it some water, make sure it's under the sunlight, and be grateful to the Most High for giving us the ability to grow and to nurture this beautiful gift of life, and to let God do what He can on His end, and to take care of anything exterior that might try to harm it, right? Maybe we got to put up a fence. Maybe we got to make sure there's no weeds growing. Keep the animals out. But we're not down in the dirt trying to outthink God and trying to make a better creation. God has already created it for us, okay? Simplifying your life. I just can't, I mean, we're getting rid of shit that's not serving us, guys. We're ending one cycle and moving towards another. This getting rid of all this why, right? You're making space. You guys know I love the living room, freaking metaphor, right? You got a whole motherfucking living room set. Now you shopped and you bought a new one. And it's getting delivered tonight. So what do you gotta do? You gotta go home and what? Get rid of the old one. Right? We're getting rid of the things that are no longer serving us. We're bringing forth new and dynamic energy into the world. We have to let something go in order to bring this new thing in. These messages are just repeating themselves. They're just repeating themselves. Bottom of the deck, breaking barriers. I'm expanding beyond limitations into joy and freedom. You will grow even when you're expected not to, right? Like you're going through this thing and it feels barren and desolate, but it's not, because you are going to surprise everyone in the world by being the one freaking rose that can grow in the middle of the desert. You know what I'm saying? You're the rose in Harlem. Actually, I'm Harlem Black Rose. You should check me out on Instagram. But you get what I'm saying. Harlem _ Black Rose. But that's a whole nother conversation. That's my personal page. You know, you can find me at the Enlightened Daughter everywhere, because I'm everywhere and amazing. Bottom of the deck, protection. Call back your power. Cut the cord. Soul retrieval. So this is an energy of just calling back your power, guys, right? I tell you all the time. I call all my power back to me from all people, places, and things in all directions of time and space across all galaxies, realms, and dimensions. Now, now, now. Every day I say that. Every day, without fail, I make sure to call my energy back. And I wake up every day. I thank the Most High for waking me up, for waking my children up. And then I put a bubble of white light protection around all three of us before we do anything. Upon my consciousness of I am awake, the next thing is thank you, and then protection bubbles. Do the thing. All right? Protect your energy at this time. You're on the bridge. During the bridge, you will be tested. Fear, doubt, worry will come up. It will creep up. Resentment, bitterness, condemnation, jealousy, criticism, all of that is going to come up while you're on the bridge. Whether it's how you feel about yourself, how you feel about others, how they feel about you, it's going to be projected onto you. It's going to be reflected back to you. And during this time, you need to figure out, okay, what's real and what's from God, and what is my egoic self, what is the trauma that I haven't healed from my childhood, because your inner child is screaming for help right now while you're on this bridge, right? Like, this is for you to figure out. And absolutely, you have support. I'm here. Your spirit team is here, right? You guys know you can always book a spiritual call with me, a coaching session, a full reading if you want. Like, you know, I do all the things for you here. But this is where you're at on the bridge. And so during that time, when these energies are coming up, when those doubts are coming up, this is the time when you think back, oh, how have I been blessed before? What miracles have come into my life before? How have I overcome this challenge before? Has anyone in my tribe, in my circle, in my community overcome a challenge like this? And how did they get through it? You know, there's all these beautiful parables that we have across the globe that give us these stories of inspiration and these fairy tales with the reasons that they've been told generation to generation to generations because of the lessons that they give to us. So what are some of those stories that you can play back? I had to play back in my head while I'm in this transition. Oh, there was a time where I had blind faith and I packed up my kids in my house and got into a fucking truck and started driving to a location, to a house that hadn't been roofed for yet. But I told everyone that that was my home. Oh, I've been in that scenario before. Oh, I've been in a scenario before where I felt threatened and scared and I didn't know what to do. And the only thing that I knew to say was Jesus. And I felt peace and safety came immediately. That was the one prayer I knew. Jesus. That's all I said. My heart spoke. My energy spoke. My vibration spoke. How are you using your powers? How are you using your energies? How are you using the power of your thought and your mind? And when fear and condemnation and jealousy and criticism and worry and doubt start creeping in, how are you shifting it? Because you have an opportunity to shift it, right? There are some things that are going to be easier than others to do, right? And I get that, you know? Mosquitoes tore me up. Fucking tore me up. There's some days are easier than others. I'll just put it like that, right? There's some days where you just don't want to get off the couch and you're depressed and you're worried and you're scared and you don't know what to do. And there are days when you don't even know what to pray for, right? We don't even know what to pray for. I don't know what prayer to say because I don't even know. Like, God, I just know I need help in everything. Or you don't even want to ask God because you feel like you might be burdening him, right? Worrying her. Or you're embarrassed or you're ashamed because you're like, you made these choices. You got yourself into this. And so why should God help you? Right? Why should she help you if you did this yourself? Why should he help you if you made these choices? Why should she help you when you've promised her before that you weren't going to do these things again and then you still make these mistakes and now you feel like shit, right? Why should he still love you? Guess what, bitches? God loves you regardless. No matter how you feel about yourself, the Most High loves you regardless. He, she, whatever you call it, universe, consciousness, one source, regardless, 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 regardless. Regardless of how you feel about you, God loves you beyond measure, infinitely. Can't even put it into words. Our human brains can't fathom it. That's how serious it is. And so while you're on this bridge, encapsulated in this delicious love, that's the energy you need to hold on to when that fear, that doubt, and that worry start creeping in. Because it is. And you got to remember, God is my source. God is my supply. God loves me beyond measure. I am perfect in the eyes of the divine. I am perfect in my imperfections. It's okay that I'm going through this again. It's okay that I'm scared because I'm not alone. I'm protected. I'm loved. I'm safe. Call upon the Most High God. Call upon the angels. Call upon your spirit guides. Call upon your ancestors, right? For some of you that have had loved ones that have crossed over to the other side, they're right there with you. My cousin Owen, my Nana, my grandaunt Sarah, my cousin Shaw, my cousin Lizzie, my aunt Lizzie, all here with me. All here with me. All the time. All the time. All the time. I know at any moment I say a name on D. Any moment I call out to one of them, they're all right here. They're all here right now because I just called all of them. Hi, y'all. Um, but they're always here with me. Always here with me. Like I was having problems with my mom, and I called my nana, "Come get your daughter, yo." You know what I'm saying? Even my father, I didn't have a relationship with my biological father when he was alive. Last time I saw him, I was 2 years old. I was told. I don't remember. But he's on the other side of the veil, and he helps me now. You got ancestors watching you that you've never met before. You understand that? You know what I mean? Some of you are your own ancestors. Did you know that? You came back, decided to do it again, same lineage, to do that healing. It's a lot of work that we're clearing up. We're on the bridge. We're on the bridge. We're getting there, but we're on the bridge. And it feels a little dark sometimes. Dude, I was on the bridge. It was dark. It was rainy. It was like hurricane-ish. The power went out. It was fucked up. Like, that's how long I was on that bridge. And I was in panic mode. Panic mode. Panic mode. Like, trying to have faith and couldn't, like, because all of those other energies just overwhelmed me. I felt like I was sitting in the corner of the room and like every monster and boogeyman that ever existed was like in the same room, like coming towards me. And no matter how tightly I shut my eyes, they would not go away. Like it was fucking painful. It was painful. And it was like a little glimmer, a little shimmer, a little fairy came flowing through the darkness, reminding me of the light, telling me it's safe to open my eyes. Little light, that mustard seed, helped me to move forward. So I feel like this message is here for you today as a mustard seed for some of you. Like, just don't give up, yo. Like, what is the end goal? Fuck where you at right now. Fuck what's happening around you. Fuck all the... I don't want to hear about none of that. Fuck this 3D illusion. What's the end goal? And is that something that's coming from your heart or coming from your egoic mind? Because that's going to also be a determinant in how quickly you receive this thing. Is it coming from your heart, serving your highest and greatest good? Or is it some ego shit? Right? Like, what's this really about? Dive deep into it. You know the universe don't play. So you could try to play and be shallow if you want to with me, but the universe is going to show us all what it really is. So dive deep into it and figure it out for yourself. You running or you on point? You healing or you out here being toxic? You fearful or you moving from faith? You know what I'm saying? All right, unbound, look. Releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. What did I just say? Healing your lineage, healing your own ancestry, right? There's deep, deep work going on. And this is a really dark time, and I get it. This dark night of the soul energy can be fucking brutal. You're not alone in it. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do, my beloved? What are you being called to do at this time? Is it scaring the shit out of you? It probably is, right? This is Do I follow what's in my heart and trust in this path? Even though they're telling me I may not make money, even though they're telling me that no one else in our family ever succeeded at this, even though they're telling me it may be difficult, even though I can't do it because I'm a black woman, even though I can't do it because I'm an Asian man, even though I can't do it because I'm a fat person, even though I can't do it because I'm skinny, whatever it is, what's your soul calling you to do, and then what's going on around here are two different conversations. But I will tell you this. When we start moving away from what our soul is calling us to do, moving away from our soul contracts and our goals and our dreams, our life starts to become a chaotic shit show and starts to implode, right? And so if your life keeps imploding, you may want to shift gears, right? That's our spirit team and spirit guides coming in and shaking shit up and being like, hey, wrong way, wrong way, wrong way, wrong way, detour, hey, construction zone, this road is closed, roadblocks, and out there. All right, last card. Mintonkin. Did I do the bottom of the deck? Oh, yeah, I did the bottom of the deck. Mintonkin. Longing for home. I know. I know. This shit is fucking exhausting, guys. I know. Belonging. The original light workers. This is why. Listen, we've been doing this for lifetimes. And the shit's not easy. And I'm not going to pretend that it is. Thus, the whole purpose of me being called to do this reading today. Right? Like, this is not a game. This shit really real. It's really real. It's really real. We be out here in these streets just doing this work and trying to be strong and trying to be brave and trying to be luminous. And then we go into these areas where we're stuck on the bridge and we're in the darkness and it feels like we're alone and we're like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I just helped all these people. Where's everybody at? You know what I mean? Like, no, now nobody wants to answer the phone. Everybody's battery is died. Nobody heard the message. But when it's y'all, I show up, right? It feels like that. I get it. That's why you have to have that relationship with your inner self, your higher self, right? You have to have your masculine and your feminine in balance, right? Your God and goddess version of yourself as well as your earthly version of yourself. You got to have them in balance. And you got to be able to hook right into that energy. All right, is this what my soul is calling me to do? Right? Is this what's right for me despite how everybody else may feel about it? Everybody's always going to have a fucking comment. People like to sit on the sidelines of everybody else's life and talk, but don't want to do anything in their own. You ever see people that just don't make any real sacrifices, don't really challenge themselves? There's no real growth. They're going to be the same person in 10 years that they are today. Sitting around, talking shit about everybody else, not really succeeding in life, having a commentary on how everybody else is doing, whether they succeed or fail, but scared to do anything for themselves because they don't want to be held in the same judgment and criticism and condemnation that they hold in others, right? Because they live their entire life based on fear. And so many of us have people in our lives whose entire energy is fear-based, and that is where they give us their advice from. And so this is the Most High, once again, coming through and being like, I'm not coming to you from fear. I'm coming to you from love. Do what you got to do. Do what you want to do, and I got you. And some things may take a little bit longer than others. And it's not necessarily because the Most High is delayed. It's because there might be lessons here that you need to have. Like, are you going to have faith right now, or are you going to live through fear? Are you going to trust this process? Are you going to trust the Most High's timing? Are you going to trust the path? Are you going to trust that you're loved? Are you going to trust that you're protected? Are you going to trust that everything is okay? Are you going to trust that even though you don't see it yet, your blessing is on its way to you because everything that is for you and cannot be kept from you? Are you going to trust in that? Or are you going to have faith in the people that tell you, well, they couldn't do it and she couldn't do it and he couldn't do it, and why would you want to do that? And how would God ever be calling you in your life? Look at the person that you are. You're so irresponsible. You're not strong enough. You're not even a good parent. You can barely keep a job. But everybody got something to say about something. 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 How many fucking single people you know talking shit about your relationship? Single, divorced, can't keep a man, can't keep a woman, but always got something to say. Right? People at your job complaining about work, but they won't do shit about it to make a change. They won't stand up for themselves. And God forbid they should try to rock the boat, but they want to put a battery in your back and have you go do it for them, right? We all know people like that. We all know people like that, right? So this is the energy of pick your battles, fall back, leave it where it may, stay out of people's drama, keep your vibration high, Stay focused on your goal, right? So whatever the end game is, guys, whatever the end game is, keep your eye on the prize. And while you're on the bridge, find things that bring joy into your life. That hermit energy, right? Joy through spiritual growth, not misery, not suffering, joy through spiritual growth. This does not have to be hard. These lessons don't have to feel like freaking dental work. You know what I'm saying? Like, these things are supposed to be joyful. You got to laugh at some of the shit that you're growing through. I find comedy in some of these situations. I'm like, damn, I can't believe I'm here again, or I can't believe I'm dealing with this again, or I can't believe this person is dead serious. Right? And it's like funny to me because I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and be upset. What can you do to raise your vibration? For those of you that are feeling low, what can you do to raise your vibration? Is it cooking? Is it cleaning? Is it dancing? I watch comedies now on almost a daily basis, right? I'm watching like MTV or I'll say Nick Cannon's Wildin' Out. I don't know what channel it's on. It's like VH1, MTV, one of those things, right? But Nick Cannon's Wildin' Out. It's just fucking funny, right? I watch stand-up comics. Just funny. Kevin Hart has a show, Celebrity Game Face, right? I think that's what it's called, Celebrity Game Face. It's fucking funny. So I watch comedies every day. Why? Because joy is a very high vibration. It's even higher than the vibration of love, right? I was just watching freaking Crazy Rich Asians. Fucking funny. It was a funny movie, right? Bring some comedy into your life. There have been people that have been cured of terminally ill cancer by bringing joy into their life. We're not joking about these things, right? Like, those of us in the spiritual community who are like, raise your vibration and keep it high, we're not saying it because we're like, oh, just act like everything is fine and hum no hum. No, we're saying raise your vibration to the energy of joy, because illness and disease cannot live there, because fear and doubt and worry cannot live there, because when your vibration is that far up, all that other shit below you cannot reach you. You have to either lower your vibration to entertain it, or they have to rise up to meet you. So why am I going to lower my vibration to entertain some nonsense? No, you want to holler at me? Come up to where I'm at. We have fun over here. It's joyful over here. It's delightful over here. It's love over here. It's enlightenment over here. It's God over here. What you doing? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm going to go smoke some weed, drink some light wine, find a freaking romantic comedy to make me pee my pants tonight, and enjoy the rest of my night, because I'm moving into my new place this week. I think tomorrow. But if not tomorrow, I'll be moving into my new place on 111th Street. Cross your fingers for me. Pray for me, guys. Always keep me in your prayers as I keep all of you in my prayers. I love you, my high vibe tribe. I pray the blessing of God over all of you this week. May you know a joy that brings pain to your bellies. May your heart be fulfilled and overwhelmed. May God bless you in such a miraculous way that you get to come back to this video and write the testimony down below and to share it with all of us. May you just feel the love and light of God in your life, and may you remember the sovereign, luminous being that you are. May this week activate even more of your spiritual gifts and talents and skills, and may you be able to share that gift and talent and skills in perfect love and perfect trust with the rest of the world. May you be blessed with a miracle this week. May you be blessed with a blessing this week. May you feel loved. May you feel valued. May you feel deserving. May you feel worthy. May you find clarity and peace on your journey. And may harmony come into your life. All right? I pray for you to have financial abundance and prosperity. I pray for you to have financial and spiritual abundance and prosperity. And may you be the hands of God here on earth. Amen. Ashe, and so it is. All right. I love you. God loves you, and angels surround you. Later, my beloveds.